Hi, my name is Natalie, and I'm a violence prevention educator, and today we're going to talk about bullying. Bullying is a sensitive topic. It can bring up thoughts or feelings that you may or may not feel comfortable with, but it's so important to talk about the types of bullying, to understand it, and how to handle it. So I usually start off with statistics. I talk about the number of kids. I don't know that now that we're not in school mostly, I don't know that this is still the same, but every day in our nation, 160,000 students skip school to avoid their bullying. And I'm sure that once we go back into classrooms, that typically remains the same. Because year after year, it was the same statistic. 160,000 kids skip school each day to avoid seeing their bully, being around their bully, or being harmed by their bully. I do feel school should be a safe place where you can go, grow, learn, and become more awesome. Now, we don't know what kids are going through outside of school, so honestly, school should be a place where you can go and grow and become your best self and not have to worry or live in fear. But with bullying, it has such a negative impact on the school that school becomes an unsafe place where they dread going and actually can help make someone feel as though they are going to be harmed or hurt. Really sad. Most bullying goes unnoticed. Most of the time people don't intervene, they just let it happen. It's a myth that if bullying is ignored, it will stop it. Ignoring the bully just reinforces that they can bully without consequence. Most of the time they're looking for a reaction, so the bullying will keep going and going and going, and it's really unfortunate. So when we look at bullying, we need to look at dynamics. I used to talk in class about celebrities who were bullied and why, but I'm not gonna do that here because I don't have their show. So bullying. And October is actually Bully Awareness Month. It's supposed to work towards prevention. So we have a bully, because if we didn't, it wouldn't be bullying. And the bully finds a target. Alright, so bullying is meant to harm the target. The bully wants to create a negative impact on the person, and they want to create a negative impact not only on the person but on the school as well. So the intent is to harm them. They want to have a negative impact, and it's all about power and control. So the bully gets his or her power or their power of control by putting down, humiliating, punishing, or harming the target. Now, here's where we get more technical about bullying. So 1 time, it's rude. 2 times, it's mean. Bullying is when it's 3 or more times per week, and it's escalated. Okay, so it's not 1 time, it's not 2 times, it's 3 or more times with escalation. Now, also, in order for it to qualify as bullying, there needs to be some sort of power imbalance. So typically, I don't see a kindergartner going up and trying to bully an 8th grader, trying to punch them or hurt them. I mean, that just doesn't happen. They can pick up the kindergartner and oh, it's nap time. But what we typically see in movies and on shows and stuff, we see somebody who's athletic picking on somebody who's not athletic. We might see somebody who's older going after somebody who's younger. somebody stronger going after somebody they view as weaker. Or it could be not even that. It could be that somebody's more popular picking on somebody with no friends or less social people to help them. So somebody with lots of friends picking on somebody who doesn't really have any, and therefore the power imbalance comes from this person pulling people in, helping them to destroy the other person. So those are the power imbalance has to be there. We don't normally see two equal people going after each other because most of the time in those cases it ends easily. Well, not easily, but it ends. So the way the target responds to the bully reinforces their need for power and control. Like, haha, I got her to cry. Tomorrow, I'm going to bully her 10 times worse. I don't know that they see themselves as a bully or they see themselves as doing anything wrong. But we have bystanders. And bystanders are people who are witnessing the bullying, but they don't really do anything. So they're just there to watch. There is some some people believe that 5% of the school are bullies, 5% are targets, 90% are bystanders. I have also seen another statistic that said 10% of the school population is bullies, 10% are targets, 10%, and then 80% are bystanders. But I'm not sure if that depends on the school that you're in. But bullying is more than an action or a behavior. It's important to recognize and understand what it is. So, we have different types of bullying. We have direct. Sorry if you can't read cursive, that's direct. And we have indirect. I have a kind of learning disability where if it's not in cursive, I'm not spelling it right. I think my hand knows what to do, but okay. So indirect, indirect. The direct bullying is to the person's face. While the target is present, the bully is present, and it's using like verbal, emotional, or physical bullying. So the different types under direct, we have physical, we have verbal, and we have emotional. And sometimes emotional and verbal are the same. Indirect, only the bully is present. So it's behind the target's back. The target is not there to defend themselves. So mostly what we see under indirect, we can see physical, but I'll get into that a little bit more. But we mostly see verbal and emotional. So things under physical, normally we list this as a class. We would talk about the different types of things you think you would find under physical. I'm just going to talk about the ones that most people don't realize are physical. Well, theft. I don't know. I've had like they'll take something off their desk, like it could just be a pencil. But I have seen things like stealing their cell phones or their tablets or just different things, even taking their jacket, to like vandalizing their stuff. Maybe writing on their shirt, writing on their jacket, tearing up their clothes. It gets sad. See what I mean about not being able to write except unless it's in cursive? Okay, my problem. Blocking passage. And this is basically not allowing someone to leave their classroom, locking them in the hallway, preventing them from being able to get to safety. So so blocking passage, vandalism, theft. I also had it where, like, the bully would come out and smash the person's lunch, or, like, steal their food. So that goes back to theft. Let's see. Physical. So we have the hitting, kicking, punching. Tripping is what I see most common. Because they act like it's an accident, or like it's the target's fault. Like, oh, you should have been watching where you were going. My foot was clearly, like, way out there. You should have known. So, blocking passage, tripping. So sad. I don't like any of this. Alright. Now we're going to get into verbal and emotional and some other things. So obviously we have name calling goes under both. Rumors goes under both. Insults, put downs goes under both. Belittling. Verbal mostly, like, I have down, like, screaming in their face, or yelling at them. And then under emotional, I have things like isolation. So they isolate them, leave them out, not let them join a game, or they tell everyone, like, don't be friends with her. What else could I have? Daring them to do something unsafe. So, daring them to do something unsafe or illegal. Something to get them in trouble. Oh, want to hang out with us? And then they invite them to, like, hey, we're going to go to this store. In order to be a part of our group, you have to steal something. Oh, come on, we all did it. You want to be a part of our group? Then just go in and steal it. And then while they're going in to steal whatever they told them to, they're like, hey, clerk, that person's going to steal. And so they intentionally get them in trouble for their enjoyment. But also just like, oh, jump off the ravine into the lake below. We all did it. And then the person gets hurt and they all laugh because it's all about their power and control. So there's probably so much more I can put on here. Long list of different things, different tactics that are used to maintain this power and control over the other person. Well, now we're going to move on because I think you can list out everything and we would be here forever. So, the impact on the target. So, the negative things that happen as a result of bullying. The target, again, because 160,000 students don't go to school because of bullying. So when we look at this, we would understand that a target skips school because they're in fear, but also the bullying can have such a huge impact on them that they suffer from headaches, migraines, stomach aches, feeling nauseous, like almost getting to school and then having this overwhelming feeling that they're going to puke or that they're really sick. And it can be the stress from that. It can also be that they lose sleep because they are so worried about what's going to happen at school the next day. What's going to happen, do they have to go to school tomorrow? And so they stay up worrying, they stay up in fear, and it leads to stress and stress-related issues. Let's see. loss of appetite. They're too scared to eat. Or the opposite of that, where they just start stress eating because of the huge impact. So we see depression. We also see like negative impact where they try and become a bully, or they take the behaviors out on others. We can see like they drop out of sports or clubs, they stop going to school. Okay, when you don't go to school, we have you miss school, you miss out. So when you don't go to school, you are not learning what you need to learn. Your grades can drop because you're not there to participate, you're not there to learn what's needed for the test. So your grades can go down, your self-esteem plummets. Bullying is one of those things that puts a hole in your bucket that just drains out all your self-worth, your self-esteem. So, I mean, you may lose so much self-esteem that you don't reach your fullest potential, or you don't reach the ambitions that you want to, all because you're like stuck in like the I'm not good enough, I'm worthless, I'm not great. So it has a huge impact on the target. Now the impact of a bully, I mean, they might get in trouble, they might get detention, or I don't know if they do detention anymore. Some schools still do. In-school suspension where they get in trouble, or even some people have been, some schools have been taking the zero tolerance policy, and so after the incidents of bullying, the 3 or more, the consistent behavior, they've been expelling kids from school. Now, targets get to a hopeless or a helpless place where they feel like there's just no hope there. But you can bring hope to a target by becoming a defender. The defender sees the bully to target dynamic and they break it up. So they stop it. And they do this in different ways. Sometimes we don't bully here, and the bully oh, okay, I'll stop. Or they point out the behavior. Sometimes they even befriend the target and they just help the target tell the bully to stop. Sometimes they just provide that we're not going to do this here, knock it off, or they help the target out. So the defender is what we've been focusing on, is you can make a difference to somebody. You can be hurtful or you can be a hero. You can make a difference in someone's life. A lot of people remember their bullies and they don't remember them well, oh man, that kid just bullied me so badly. And they remember all the words and they remember everything that was done. But man, when you remember your defender, it's a whole nother thing. That person made such a difference. They just improved that part of school so much. So as a defender, you're making a difference. You are helping another person realize that they don't deserve to be bullied, because no one deserves to be bullied. No one, nothing that a target did or didn't do would make it okay. We also recognize bullies bully because they can. So if you're being bullied, recognize that it has more to do with the bully than it has to do with you. Don't look for reasons why you're being bullied, because when you look for reasons, you begin to dislike things about yourself, magical things about yourself that they might see as a threat or they might be jealous of. But don't look for reasons why you're being bullied, and no, a bully bullies because they can. So it's more to do with the bully than it has to do with you.
Okay, second half, here we go. Scary part, smack.
Alright, so, we're going to kind of take a process right now where we end bullying using tacos. I know, that sounds different. But, TACOS is an acronym that I use to help people understand how to end bullying. I wonder if I have that on here. No. So, TACO. So you can make your own acronym out of TACOS. I know that sounds weird, but basically, okay, so we're going to go to the next page, because we're going to make our own tacos. So, TACOS. Now, my version of tacos is tell the bully to stop and walk away. Okay. Ask for help if there's a problem that you can't solve on your own. So you can ask an adult for help. You may be a counselor, maybe you're asking a friend for help. But ask for help from even like someone at, well, most of the time ask for help from someone at your school. Explain, I'm being bullied and I need help. Chat about it. Don't let it set inside you. Don't try and ignore it on your own. Talk to someone about it. Tell someone what you're going through so that it doesn't continue to eat you up inside. And maybe you can find ways to handle it in a healthy way. Again, I'm a violence prevention educator, so I'm anti any type of violence, even a target being violent back to a bully, because basically that would make you a bully. So we don't want to stoop to their level. We want to be good. And that comes to the O, which is overcome bad with good. So my friend has, I guess I'll call it a disability, but he has a disability that made him a target for a lot of different bullying, and they would trip him and they would push him down because it was kind of, they felt, I guess, that it was funny or cool to like knock the kid down who couldn't get back up that well. So they would and he just got up one day after being pushed down in the bathroom. Could you imagine being pushed down in the boys' bathroom? How awful that would be. Like, dirty. Okay. So, he was trying to get himself back up after being pushed down, and he used the sink to try and stand back up again, and he looked in the mirror and he saw his face, and he was so angry, and he just didn't like that about himself, that he promised that instead of retaliating with anger or hate or anything like that, that he was going to respond in a more positive way. And I think this is just so amazing from a middle schooler. He decided that he was going to invite them to do things with him. Like, so he was tripped, and he would be like, hey, do you want to come over to my house and play? Or do you want to play at recess? So he would give them a compliment. So that's the overcome bad with good. So he didn't stoop to their level. He actually kind of shocked a bunch of the kids by doing that. And then the S, there's different options. I choose say something silly. Basically, use humor. So, there's different things that people do in that case. They can joke or they make the bully laugh. Different things like that if they're good. But my other S option is spend time with people who accept you for who you are. C could be call over the teacher, ask them to play. There's just a lot of different options when you make your acronym for how you're going to handle bullying in a healthy way that won't get you in trouble, that won't harm either one of you, but will keep you safe. So the other option that I have, and you can put your taco in this way, but you have your TACOS, and I was doing a drawing project where I have you trace your hand, like stop, okay, because you want an arm's length away from your bully, and then you write in what you would do. So I have, like, tell the bully to stop and walk away, ask for help, chat about it, overcome good with bad, use humor, find a friend, talk about it. Please talk about it. Maybe it could be a therapist, counselor at school, just some way to handle it in a healthy way. Sometimes you can take it as a compliment or agree. So, alright. As somebody who was bullied, I didn't have the ability to do that, but when they called me freckle face, if I had the ability to be like, thanks, I do have angel kisses, or something like that, like, somebody who's shorter being picked on, being like, you're so short, shorty, whatever, then like, yeah, dynamite comes in small packages, and then just walks away. So they kind of agree about it, kind of says something, to make the bully think, like, what just happened? Okay. So down here I said, I will be a defender, no one deserves to be bullied. And then around my hand, I did write 2 things to myself that I use to help me process when people try and be hurtful or harmful. So, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And Eleanor Roosevelt said that. She was a first lady for a long time, back in the 30s and 40s. So, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. No one can bring you down without your permission, basically. No one can, like, destroy you without your okay or approval. And then, what you think of me is none of my business. So that's another one that I use to just build up resiliency and kind of protect my bucket from the negative bullying. I could have used this class when I was younger for sure. But learning to handle bullying in a healthy way so that others aren't harmed. So recognize no one deserves to be bullied. Nothing you could do would make it okay. And bullies bully because they can. But we have new ways to handle bullying. We can be defenders. We can help others. And we can use our talk. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you're enjoying what you're watching, like and subscribe. Email me if you have any issues that you need to talk about, whether it's about bullying or another topic. And you can find my email in the description. Thank you all so much. You are